Welcome back to the interview series. In part one, we talked about likability and why the very few seconds of your interview, it can carry more weight than most people realize. If you haven't watched it yet, go back and start there. But today, we're on part two. And this is the one that's going to hit a little bit different because this is where most of the folks that I work alongside, they're highly qualified candidates. Well, they lose jobs they should have already gotten. They have the experience, they have the track record, but they don't get the offer. They lose out to another candidate because they fail on fit. Think about this. The most important thing I'm going to say in this video, and I really want you to let this land. You don't get hired for your experience. You get hired for how your experience fits into that business's world, into that hiring manager's world. So let's think about this again. You don't get hired for what you've done. You get hired for how and what you've done applies to what they need you to do. That's a massive difference. It's about them. Hiring managers aren't thinking historically. They're thinking operationally. They're picturing whether they could take you right now and drop you into their environment with their team, with their tech stack, with all of their processes, their language, and you hit the ground running, making an instant impact. Your job in the interview is to make that picture as clear and as easy as possible for them. One of the biggest killers of candidates in the interview is a vocabulary mismatch. And I want to explain what I mean by this. You've done the work, you know your stuff, but the way you talk about it, the terminology you use, the analogies you draw from, the acronyms you rely on, and even the people you used to work with, all the name dropping, all of this is going to be completely foreign to this particular hiring manager. If they have to decode what you're saying, you're in trouble. And here's what is so horrible about all of this. You won't even know it's happening. They'll nod and smile politely. They'll seem very engaged. But in the back of their mind, they're thinking, I'm not sure this person really understands our world. They're good at what they did. I'm not sure they're going to be able to fit this in. And this is how they remember you in this interview. So what do? You instantly become their translator. You bridge that gap and you say things like, well, what I did at X at my previous company, well, it's going to look like this in your environment. They connect what you've done to what they do. And you make that translation for them before they have to begin to try to make them themselves. So before you interview, do your research, study their website, their job description, their LinkedIn posts. What language do they use? What tools and frameworks do they reference? What are their buzzwords? Your goal is to sound like someone who already works there. Now, let me also, if we're talking about fit, let me talk about risk and reducing risk, because this is going to destroy your fit instantly, because I've seen very smart people blow their candidacy on something completely preventable. Don't say anything that makes them question whether you're actually going to stay long term. Don't say things like, I'm only open to remote work. Don't say things like, I don't really love to travel. Don't say things, I prefer not to wear too many hats at one time. Even if those things are true, and even if you might be right for this role, the hiring manager brain immediately flags you as a flight risk. They think, well, if I hire this person, am I going to be dealing with someone who complains 6 months from now, someone who's difficult to deal with, who doesn't really understand what the job description said? And is this person going to leave as soon as something better comes along? Once that flag goes up, they're not rationalizing anymore whether or not you fit. They're rationalizing you out. And no amount of great answers later in the interview will erase the first red flag. So the rule is, for the 30-minute interview with your hiring manager, focus on fit, reduce risk, focus on alignment, on your enthusiasm, on being the person who walks in ready to do the work for them. Leave the focus on your historical experience in the rearview mirror and look at what you can bring to their business. So here's the punchline for today. If they have to translate you in any way, you lose. Your job is to make them feel like you already fit in. You speak their language. You are already ramping in role. They already see you here. Hiring you for them should feel like the easiest decision that they're going to make all year. Next up in part 3, and this is where we're going to be getting into storytelling, specifically the one story that can win your interview. Not 5 stories, not a highlight reel, not a greatest hits of your past 25 years, just one power story. And I'll show you exactly how to build it and deliver it. Part 3 is going to be one of the most practical videos in this series. So one more thing before you go. If you want a complete interview system for all 4 of these areas that we're talking through in this series, as well as many others, these are things that a lot of my clients, they take for granted, but these are concepts for preparation. It's a framework, it's the language, and it's all the aspects that you should be bringing into an interview. Well, I have a full 1.5-hour recorded training called the Interview Prep and Readiness Workshop, and you can access it right now. It comes with a 28-page bonus playbook to help you prep for your specific interview. And I'm also wanting you to book a one-on-one time with me when you go through this whole training. We can prepare for your strategy. Guys, I have helped over 80 professionals land a role in less than 90 days. And I can do that for you. Click on the link below, check that course out, and I'll see you in part 3. Bye.